everything that never was. I'm in from this with all of my regrets and all your secrets of the past. There's nothing wrong with me, there's nothing wrong with you. My God, we are so perfect. Perfect lie, perfect fake, perfect chance to get away. Perfect love, perfect take, my perfect faith in you collapsing. You do anything to make me suffer, but I cannot let you go. You're so perfect. Perfect. You will forget these memories of me and everything that could have been. There's nothing wrong with me, there's nothing wrong with you. My God, we are so perfect. Perfect lie, perfect fake, perfect chance to get away. Perfect love, perfect take, my perfect faith in you collapsing. You do anything to make me suffer, but I cannot let you go. You're so perfect. Perfect. There's nothing wrong with me. There's nothing wrong with you. There's nothing wrong with me. There's nothing wrong with you. There's nothing wrong with me. There's nothing wrong with you. There's nothing wrong with me. There's nothing wrong with you. My God, you're so perfect. My God, you're so perfect.
Welcome in everybody live here on the Booty Scoot Racing channel. Getting ready to go racing here tonight at the Hickory Motor Speedway for the I-85 Asphalt Series Late Model Stock Division. The Dash for Cash. Race number 6 of 10 continues here tonight. Making a pit stop, no pun intended, at the Hickory, North Carolina's Hickory Motor Speedway. Getting ready to tackle on the world's most famous short track before NASCAR's biggest names first shone under the bright lights of the Charlotte Motor Speedway. Many of them found their first successes elsewhere here in North Carolina. The city of Hickory plays home to the world's most famous short track, the Hickory Motor Speedway, a 3.6-mile asphalt bull ring that has welcomed racers and fans through the gates for more than 70 years. Tonight, the I-85 Asphalt Series makes their pit stop here in Hickory, North Carolina. Ladies and gentlemen, are you ready to go racing here tonight? From its early days since opening in 1951 as a half-mile dirt oval to current day, Hickory's fastest drivers have held what it takes to win at the racing's highest level. Ralph Earnhardt has 5 track championships in those early days, while Junior Johnson and Ned Jarrett also scored titles at the Hickory Motor Speedway, and they are currently all in the Hall of Fame. Who's going to make their name tonight? Welcome in on the main broadcast cam. Welcome in to the Booty Scoot Racing channel. This is the Dash for Cash race number 6 at the Hickory Motor Speedway. Getting ready to go racing here tonight for 125 laps. Ladies and gentlemen, we'll have one, maybe 2 heat races in the books, seeing apparently how they roll out the books. Qualifying is currently on our way and how things will roll out here tonight. Welcome in, ladies and gentlemen, live here as we are rounding out a beautiful Hickory Motor Speedway. Packed out fans in the stands here tonight. Qualifying being underway. We want to keep the ticker back up here on our screen. You see how everybody's currently rounding out on the left side of your screen. Welcome into the Carolina Nationals live here at the Hickory Motor Speedway. We will bring up tonight's excuse me, track facts here at the Hickory Motor Speedway. Race length tonight will be 125 laps with a 35-mile-an-hour pit lane speed going down onto pit road. A pit window of 150 to 160 laps in Sunoco Racing Fuel will intend that these drivers know that they'll go all the way around this beautiful racetrack. Ladies and gentlemen, if you are loving what you're seeing, make sure you slap that like button. Make sure you press that follow button so you don't miss a damn thing. Getting ready to go racing here momentarily at the Hickory Motor Speedway. broadcast cam live on the Booty Scoot Racing channel, qualifying on our way, giving a couple shout-outs to our sponsor there. Make sure you go check them out. Head on over to the YouTube page, press that subscribe button. Just looking over here on the left side of our screen, currently looking how qualifying is running out at the current moment. The Fast 5 drivers will advance automatically over to the main event. Everybody else that falls below the Fast 5 will head to the heat races. And ladies and gentlemen, we got the clear right now to go ahead and throw up the results on the pole here tonight at Hickory. Continuing his dominating Season 4, continuing here in the I-85 Asphalt Series late model, the three-time champion from Greer, South Carolina, Chase Showtime Johnson will start on the front row here tonight at Hickory. The Fast 5 drivers, Luca Torcott, will round out the second place spot in qualifying, followed by Michael Johnson, Zach Evans, and Patrick McPeak. Those will be the Fast 5 drivers heading to the main event here tonight at the late model stocks division. The Carolina Nationals at the Hickory Motor Speedway. That'll leave Ace Throckmorton on the pole for one of these heat races with Mike Doyle on the other. We're getting ready to switch on over to these heat races. We're getting ready to kick off tonight's Carolina Nationals here tonight at the Hickory Motor Speedway. Got several guys piling in the cars, racing here. Looks like we're going to have 7 drivers, excuse me, in heat race number 1, which means we're probably going to be stacked out for heat race number 2. Ladies and gentlemen, I say we get the DJ to cut the music. We'll get it down here close up and personal with the race cars and get you introduced to your favorite driver. On the pole here for heat race number 1 for the Carolina Nationals, driving the number 72 throwback Triple S Throckmorton Racing late model from South Boston, Virginia. It's going to be Ace Throckmorton. On the outside of him will be the Greer, South Carolina driver driving the 888 machine for HendrickCars.com. On the side for Chase Johnson Racing, Corey Tessner. On the second row, third place position, driving the number 27 Candy Sour Apple L27 late model from Landrum, South Carolina. That's the Nurse Aviator of Adam Peeler. On the outside of him will be the number 99 late model here tonight on the Booty Scoot Racing channel for MND Motorsports of Dakota, Pignataro. Shaking out what's going to be the 5th place spot here in tonight's heat race as Booty Scoot goes crazy here, rounding up the crowd, getting things going from Greenville, South Carolina. That's the number 24 of James Fountain. On the outside of him will be the number 3 Bay Customs late model of Andrew Parnell. And behind him will be the number 18 Air Force late model of Nate Hall. Ladies and gentlemen, that'll be all of the drivers here tonight, rounding out heat race number 1, getting ready to go racing here tonight on the Booty Scoot Racing channel for what's sure to be an action-packed event. Ladies and gentlemen, Peter the Pace Car has the guys up on their lids. They're getting the oils up and moving in the camshafts, and we apologize there as the real-life Booty Scoot Racing just started barking all over the booth here. And ladies and gentlemen, these guys, Ace Throckmorton, got the hint here tonight for the throwback race. He's got the America's Finest Race Team Triple S Throckmorton late model on the pole here for heat race number 1. It's getting sure to be one hell of a race here tonight at the Hickory Motor Speedway. Ace Throckmorton will make the trip down from South Boston, Virginia, looking to make a shot at it here tonight. Look at these late models soar through turns 1 and 2. So this is going to be a 15-lap heat race here tonight on the Booty Scoot Racing channel. 125 laps is what will be scheduled for the feature. An absolute beautiful day to go racing. We will bring that result up to you right now. 82 degrees here at the Hickory Motor Speedway, the America's famous short track, and the northeast wind blowing in at about 4 miles per hour. It's going to be Throckmorton Tessner on the front row behind Peter the Pace Car, Adam Peeler, Dakota Pignataro in the second row, followed by Fallon Parnell and Nate Hall. That'll be how the drivers round out what's going to be heat race number 1 here tonight. The Pace Car should hang the left down on the pit lane. It should be all in the hand of Ace Throckmorton to take the green flag here tonight. You got yourself a virtual heat race here from the Hickory Motor Speedway. Green flag is in the air, searching the banking through turns 1 and 2. Throckmorton grabs the race lead in his throwback scheme here tonight for the throwback race of the Carolina Nationals. Ladies and gentlemen, here comes the number 27 on the inside of the number 99 of Dakota Pignataro. They'll work across the front straightaway, diving down into turns 1 and 2. Pignataro on the outside of the number 27, trying to make some work quick here. James Fountain, big time loose off turn 2 at Hickory. Ladies and gentlemen, NASCAR's most famous drivers cut their teeth right here in North Carolina. Before there was the Charlotte Motor Speedway, it was Hickory Motor Speedway. This racetrack is absolutely historical, home to Cup Series races, Busch Grand National races, annual, weekly, late model, modified races, you name it. The Hickory Motor Speedway continues to put on show after show, week in, week out. And they need to keep our short tracks here in the United States of America. One of my home short tracks, the Greenville Pickens Speedway, in jeopardy of losing its track entirely. So make sure you head on over to GreenvillePickensSpeedway.com to vote to save the racetrack. 11 laps to go here. The Carolina Nationals Hickory Speedway. Throckmorton on the race lead. He's sitting on the pole here at the qualifying session. Remember, folks, the top Fast 5 drivers advance to the session for the main event automatically here tonight. Everybody else fill into tonight's heat races. Heading across the line, Dakota Pignataro shakes out this 4th place spot in this black and gold number 99 late model. Behind him is 4-time heat race winner this season already, James Fountain. He needs to tighten up this Gulf late model here tonight on the Booty Scoot Racing Channel, sliding all over the great state of North Carolina. Here comes the BC Bay Customs number 3 late model of Andrew Parnell riding out the front roll bar, the number 3. He's trying to find some grip here at the Hickory Motor Speedway, dialed in this late model here in the heat race. You see him get tied up the racetrack right there. Andrew Parnell, currently residing in Green Bay, Wisconsin, trying to make something shake. Behind him is going to be the number 18 of Nate Hall. But right now, with 8 laps to go in the Carolina Nationals heat race number 1, live at the Hickory Motor Speedway. Tessner's all over the back bumper of Ace Throckmorton, trying to make something shake. He's battling a little bit of a loose end, loose off condition as well. Tessner, you see him inside of the late model, back to the right, dirt driving this damn thing. Adam Peeler finally gets around Dakota Pignataro. Caution flag is out for James Fountain. Caution flag is out for the number 24 of James Fountain in that Gulf Busch Light late model. We'll back that ass up on the Booty Scoot Racing Channel. Take a look and see exactly what happened to James Fountain here in heat race number 1. He'll be the first caution flag coming off the exit of turn 3 and 4. Big time loose. We were talking about the loose conditions for James Fountain, and just goes around right here in front of our camera down the back straightaway. We will back that ass up one more time and take a look and see what happened to James Fountain, see if we can't get an onboard shot. See, Fountain just had to lock it down there, turn the wheel to the right, able to keep it out of the inside safer barrier, though, so that'll be one good thing for James Fountain right there. Looks like, though, Fountain bringing out the caution flag. He will receive the EOL. He'll go to the tail end of the field here in this number 24 Gulf Busch Light late model. Caution flag laps do not count here in tonight's heat races, but they will count. Oh, excuse me, yes, they do. They will count here for the heat races, and they will count for the main event, so trying to get it back green quick as possible. It'll be Throckmorton Tessner on the front rows, and Ticker tries to work its way here. We'll get the green flag this time around. Ladies and gentlemen, if you're loving what you're seeing, make sure you slap that like button. Press that follow button so you don't miss a damn thing. It's going to be Throckmorton, Tessner, Peeler, Pignataro, as well as Nate Hall in the top 5 here. Top 3 drivers will be the only one scoring point through the restart zone. Throckmorton steps back down on the gas. Green flags back in the air here with 6 laps to go at the Carolina Nationals Hickory Motor Speedway. Climbing the banking through turns 1 and 2. Here comes down the back straightaway. Adam Peeler, Pignataro nose to tail with Corey Tessner. Throckmorton trying to keep his distance there from Corey, but Corey slides across the back bumper, not able to get exactly clear the way that he was looking for. That turn 1 right there is going to be absolutely treacherous all night long. 4 laps to go this next time around. 4 races remain after tonight. Tessner puts the bumper to Throckmorton, scoots him up the racetrack, but Throckmorton's able to save the race car. What a save from the 72 of Throckmorton. Corey Tessner has thrown the gloves off here at Hickory. He has absolutely made it known how he wants the race. He's got a little bit of damage to the right front of that HendrickCars.com late model. You see the right front tire puffed out of that thing. Tessner absolutely has got the air pressure build up here, and he's all over the back bumper of Ace Throckmorton. Some clean racing going on right now. Tessner's throwing the gloves off. It might cost him the 2nd place spot to Adam Peeler. What will be 2 laps to go this time around on the Booty Scoot Racing Channel. Peeler gets a 2 for 1 out of turn 4 around Corey Riptide. Tessner put the bumper there to Ace Throckmorton. It might have hurt him more than it helped him. Fountain moves back up to the top 5 position. Only the top 3 spots get paid points. Dakota wants some points here late in the heat race. White flag is in the air, presented by AFLglobal.com. Checker flag will be in the air this next time around. Ace Throckmorton has the race lead inside of this Triple S Throckmorton Racing from South Boston, Virginia late model. Throwback for the 72 scheme this week. He'll pick up the heat race win at Hickory. Ace Throckmorton wins the heat race here tonight at the Hickory Motor Speedway, followed by Adam Peeler, who'll get the 2 for 1 special. Corey Tessner, Baylor able to hold on to the top 3 spot there, but he's able to score a point here tonight in the heat race. What a win for Ace Throckmorton right there in that number 72 Triple Threats Throckmorton Racing throwback scheme. He got the memo here tonight at the Carolina Nationals for the throwback schemes. Looks like we are going to have 2, 4, 6, maybe 7 more drivers kicking out heat race number 2 here tonight. Let's make sure everything goes up and playing as intended. Ladies and gentlemen, if you're loving what you're seeing, make sure you press that like button. Make sure you press that subscribe button. We'll pull up tonight's starting grid for heat race number 2. Dylan Thomas will be on the front row with what's going to be the 00 of Mike Doyle, who will lead on from the front pack for the first place spot. Second row will belong to the number 48 from Crawfordsville, Indiana, of Aaron Evans. Alongside of him will be the number 31 of Brandon McAbee. Third row will belong to Chris Knighty in the number 222 Slim Jim late model, and on the outside of him will be the 22 of Chris Schaffner. You can go check out all of his onboard cams at Fabric Schaffner YouTube page. Phil Bogdan will round out the 7th place position here tonight, with Neil Rutt being the admin here in heat race number 2. Ladies and gentlemen, we'll get you down here on the main racetrack so you can get up and close and personal with your favorite drivers. On the pole driving that 00 is going to be the Mike Doyle machine, with the outside of him being Dylan Thomas. That second row we just instated is going to be the 48 Lowe's late model from Crawfordsville, Indiana, the Chevy Impala of Aaron Evans. The outside of him will be the South Carolina Spartanburg Upstate, or whatever you want to call it, Artist of the Year. Go stream all of Brandon McAbee's music on Apple Music, Spotify, wherever you get your music today. Chris Schaffner will drive a brand new paint scheme here tonight, throwing it back in the Fabric Schaffner YouTube page 22. And look at this badass paint scheme here from the hometown driver from High Point, North Carolina. And on the inside of him, Chris Knighty going to throw it back to the Slim Jim Triple Deuce late model here tonight from B-Town, Indiana. Back in action after battling the ECU issues inside of that late model program. Phil Bogdan will shake out the final position here in heat race number 2. We should get the green flag this time around. Ladies and gentlemen, don't go nowhere. We are still set for what's going to be 125 laps here tonight, with about 22 late models on the racetrack. You're not going to want to miss a damn thing. Green flag back in the air here in heat race number 2. Mike Doyle, Dylan Thomas battle door to door this time, though. We got a battle off of turn 2. Nobody's going to sail away with a race lead on lap number 1. 15 going to be 14 laps to go, and kicking off heat race number 2 live at the Hickory Motor Speedway, America's the most famous short track on planet Earth. The Hickory Motor Speedway has cut their teeth in drivers here since 1951. This used to be a dirt oval till they paved it back in 1970, but this place has not been repaved since 1992. Ladies and gentlemen, this is a treacherous racetrack, and we are now currently in the year 2026. 13 laps to go here in heat race number 2, and the Dylan Thomas 03 Denison, Texas driver is out front here in heat race number 2 with Mike Doyle. Whoa, barely able to get clear to 31. Does he clear himself off of turn 4? Not quite, as Brandon McAbee battles back on the outside. Brandon McAbee driving for the Boogeyman Motorsports, John Michael Bryant, who is not able to compete full-time inside of the late model stock division. But breaking news from the garage area last night, John Michael Bryant, the Boogeyman, will be back in action in the wheel and modified division 2 weeks from now when we head on over to the Milwaukee Mile. John Michael Bryant used to be full-time here. Whoa, we apologize there for the blinking in and blinking out. 10 laps to go here on the Booty Scoot Racing Channel's heat race. Schaffner, big time up the racetrack. Chris Knighty goes around and the caution flag flies. Caution flag flies here. Whoever that was, I can imagine maybe that's who it was that we were on when the internet crashed out right there. So we'll back that ass up, and we had it on the instant replay the whole time. Ladies and gentlemen, that is entirely my fault. So we'll back it up here, take a look at the instant replay. We'll make sure we switch it back to the main cam for you folks. They blinked in, blinked out. Chris Knighty working on the inside of Phil Bogdan. Phil Bogdan looks like he just got into the corner a little bit too hard and into the back end of the number triple deuce of Chris Knighty. Sent them right around off of turn 3 and 4, and we will not back that ass up anymore, as we do not want to deal with any more of the lag. We apologize here tonight for that, folks. Phil Bogdan and Chris Knighty tangle there on the exit of turn, looks like 3 or 4. These two guys will head to the back half of the field. Ladies and gentlemen, caution flag laps do count here in tonight's heat races. Heat race number 2 on our way, scheduled for 15 laps, 125 right after for the feature. The first one that we had here tonight was, excuse me, an absolute banger right there. I mean, you could not ask for a better heat race in heat race number 1. Caution free for majority part. James Fountain went around on the inside, safe for barriers. So there's one caution flag apiece in each heat race. But it looks like the admin's ready to back on back up. We're getting ready to go back racing here in the throwback race for the Carolina Nationals live at the Hickory Motor Speedway. It'll be in the hands of Dylan Thomas. Green flag back in the air here. 10 laps to go on the Booty Scoot Racing channel. Brandon Maccabee trying to get this Maccabee Custom Services 31 late model down on the bottom side of the racetrack and get it hooked up to get around the 00 of Mike Doyle. Here comes Aaron Evans in the Lowe's number 48 Chevy Impala late model down on the bottom side. Phil Bogdan will fill in the back half of the field there in that top 5 position after getting into the accident right there with Chris Knighty. 9 laps to go in the heat race. Plenty of time to make up some moves. An absolute treacherous racetrack here. The Hickory Motor Speedway will open up plenty of lanes to go passing. And you best damn believe you folks, if we can get the 125 lapper going here tonight and get a long green flag run, you will see your fair share of comers and goers and tire wear. Mike Doyle trying to run down Dylan Thomas with 7 laps to go this time around. Dylan Thomas, whoa, getting out the banking. Aaron Evans goes sideways off of turn 2, able to lock it down. The Lowe's number 48 gets loose off of turn 2, and the caution flag will fly for the second time here tonight on the Booty Scoot Racing channel. We will back that ass up on this absolute crazy heat race going on our screen right now with the number 48 of Aaron Evans from Crawfordsville, Indiana. We'll go around off of turn 2. We've seen it out of our little cam on the bottom of exit of turn 1 and 2, or whatever the case that is, and the Lowe's 48 looks like he maybe just stepped on it a little bit too hard, and he'll lock it down and go around on the back straightaway off of turn 2. Get it back up here to the main broadcast cam. Aaron Evans will receive the EOL for bringing out the caution flag here at the Carolina Nationals Hickory Motor Speedway. Kicking off Dash for Cash, race number 6. 4 races will remain after this. We'll head to the Kern County Raceway in California 2 weeks from now, owned by Kevin Harvick, the former NASCAR Cup Series winner. It's going to be an absolute banger of a race, ladies and gentlemen. We absolutely cannot wait to get the payouts going. We got a ton of great tracks coming your way, in the next couple coming weeks or so. We'll make sure we have all that to you here when we get to the main feature. We'll get you back down on the main broadcast cam. It looks like the Carolina Nationals heat race number 2 is getting ready to go back underneath the green flag. What will be 5 laps to go. Mike Doyle will be alongside his teammate, the 03 from NR3 Design M&D Motorsports, is Dylan Thomas. Green flag back in the air here at the Hickory Motor Speedway. 7 drivers rounding out the heat race here tonight. Dylan Thomas trying to grab a win and grab 3 points to his total score. Mike Doyle rose to the outside of Brandon Maccabee, who's in the second place position if he can get himself down on the bottom side in 3. Doyle and Maccabee going at it here off of turn 4. Brandon Maccabee trying to keep Mike Doyle honest through turns 1 and 2, but Mike Doyle's going to have the advantage. He'll have the better angle off of turn 2. That turn 2 angle kind of sweeps out there, gives you exactly what you're looking for if you're on the outside line. But if you're on the bottom line through turns 3 and 4, you can really make the distance back like you see Brandon Maccabee do right there, as he's barely able to hold on to this late model, absolutely cooking it sideways. Contact made there with Phil Bogdan. 4 laps to go. Will be 3 this time around for the Denison, Texas driver of Dylan Thomas. Off of turn 3 and 4, Dylan Thomas looking for his first heat race win here in season 4 of the late models. Brandon Maccabee working behind Mike Doyle in the 00. Ladies and gentlemen, the Hickory Motor Speedway putting on a show right now. 2 laps to go this time around in the heat race. We want to remind everybody, once we do the conclusion of the heat races here tonight as they work the banking down into turns 1 and 2, Phil Bogdan works his way back up. We will have a 5-minute warm-up session right after this. We'll try to have tonight's national anthem come right your way, and after that we'll have the 125 lapper. Dylan Thomas is pulled away tremendously with a huge race lead off the exit of turn 2, heading down the back straightaway into turn 3 and 4. Dylan Thomas looks like he's going to sail away out of turn 3 and 4. He's going to win tonight's heat race number 2. What a drive there from Dylan Thomas from Denison, Texas. DT from DT, downtown Dylan Thomas goes to victory lane here in heat race number 2. So ladies and gentlemen, we will get ready to go racing here in just a moment. Ladies, and see if I can't pull this up for you, get our video. There we go, ladies and gentlemen. We asked you guys to rise and stand as you're able for tonight's invocation of the national anthem.
Dawn's early
that so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave.
Ladies and gentlemen, getting ready to go racing here tonight at the Hickory Motor Speedway, live here on the Booty Scoot Racing channel, as these guys are currently shaking out what is the warm-up session. Still got a couple minutes left here to go, as we apologize for the absolutely rattling engine noises on your screen right now. We apologize for that, folks. So, ladies and gentlemen, this is going to be 125 laps here tonight, with 145 to 150 laps in Sunoco Racing Fuel. These guys will have plenty of fuel to go around the Hickory Motor Speedway. This will be an entire day race, but the lights are here if we do need them. We will pull up tonight's qualifying session and show you exactly how it showed out here tonight as they get ready to switch on over to the gridding portion part of tonight's event. Ladies and gentlemen, if you did forget when we kicked off tonight's show, the 957 of Chase Johnson will be on the pole here tonight after dominating majority part of the year. He'll look to grab his fifth win on the year. Can he four-peat it tonight at Hickory? Ladies and gentlemen, that will be the qualifying session and how they round it out. That is not how they are currently shook out on the field, though. We'll get you down on the racetrack, get you up close and personal with some of your favorite drivers, and see how things round it out. On the pole here tonight, driving the number 957 from Greer, South Carolina, three-time champion here in the late model division, Showtime Chase Johnson. On the outside of him will be the number 036 throwback late model to Carl Edwards. That's the Asphalt Canadian of Luca Torcott. Starting in the second row, driving the number 40 Pacematic late model. That's the number 40 of Michael Johnson. And on the outside of him will be the Me Fine red and yellow number 6 MND Motorsports Princeton, North Carolina driver of Zach Evans. And on the inside of him will be last night's Wheeling Modified winner from Mount Airy, North Carolina, of Patrick McPeak. On the outside of Patrick McPeak will be the number 72 heat race winner, throwback for the Triple S Throckmorton late model here tonight, of Ace Throckmorton. On the inside of him will be the number 27 Peeler's Apple Ale late model from Landrum, South Carolina, of Adam Peeler. On the inside of him will be heat race winner number 2 here tonight from Denison, Texas, driving the number 03 NR3 Designs late model, Dylan Thomas. Driving the 00 orange and white late model here tonight from Middletown, New Jersey, Mike Doyle. On the outside of him will be the number 888 HendrickCards.com late model from Greer, South Carolina, of Corey Tetzner. On the inside of him will be the number 31 Maccabee Auto Services from Spartanburg, South Carolina, 31 late model of Brandon Maccabee. Driving the number 99 black and gold late model from New Bern, that's going to be Dakota Pignataro. And driving that number 24 Gulf Busch Light late model from Greenville, South Carolina, that's going to be four-time heat race winner James Fountain. And driving the number 29 late model here tonight on the Booty Scoot Racing channel from M&D Motorsports, Phil Bogdan. On the outside of Phil will be the number 3 Custom Bays late model for Chase Johnson Racing of Andrew Parnell. On the inside of him will be the number 22 Fabric Schaffner YouTube page late model from High Point, North Carolina of Chris Schaffner. And behind him will be the number 18 U.S. Air Force late model of Nate Hall. On the inside of Nate will be the number 48 Lowe's late model from Crawfordsville, Indiana of Aaron Evans. And driving the Triple Deuce late model with Slim Jim on board this week, going to the tail end of the field from Beattown, Indiana, Chris Knighty. Ladies and gentlemen, getting ready to go racing here tonight live on the Booty Scoot Racing channel. We are getting ready to get you down on the racetrack for tonight's keys of the race. Getting ready to be an absolute banger of a race. Tricky turns 1 and 2 is going to be key number 1. These guys are going to have to make sure that they can get the corner exit speed that they're looking for. A tricky turn 2 exit with the way that it sloops out towards the wall. Save those tires. Getting ready to go racing here tonight on the Booty Scoot Racing channel. This old surface hasn't been repaved since 1992. And finally, you're going to want to maximize those points here on the Booty Scoot Racing channel. Here we go, folks. 125 laps, 35 mile an hour pit lane speed, 150 to 160 laps in Sunoco Racing fuel. Turns 1 and 2 is 14 degrees in bankings, followed by 3 and 4. Straights will be 8 degrees in bankings. Getting ready to go racing here tonight for the Carolina Nationals, live at the Hickory Motor Speedway. Chase Johnson's on the pole with the Canadian of Luca Turcotte. If you're not loving what you're seeing, if you're not standing like these fans in the seats right now, 1 lap to go from the pace car. Lights are off. Florida flagman indicating to the drivers that they are getting ready to go racing. 19 late models shake out the Hickory Motor Speedway. The heat races are in the books. Chase Johnson on the pole. Luca Turcotte in second on the outside. Michael Johnson in third. Zach Evans in fourth. Green flag less than 100 feet away. Green flags in the air for the Carolina Nationals live at Hickory Motor Speedway. Working up the banking of turn 2 and down into turn 3 and 4. The Canadian Asphalt late model of Luca Turcotte looks to the outside of Chase Johnson. That'll be the battle for the race lead, followed by Michael Johnson and Patrick McPeak for 3rd and 4th. Lap number 2 is being worked here, the Carolina Nationals. Nobody's went around yet. We're clean lap number 2 into the book. These guys are definitely going to have to play their cards perfectly here tonight. Save that Hoosier rubber. You have no sets of tires in the pits to try to make any kind of pit stop or move back. The Canadian Luca Turcotte has the line on the outside. Swooping out in that turn 2 really gave the 0.36 the run that he was looking for. He'll battle on the outside of the 957 of Chase Johnson here at the Hickory Motor Speedway. Johnson will give up the battle for the first place position quick and early. Check up there in the second place spot. Park it right on the front bumper of the Michael Johnson number 40 machine. Everybody else working down into 3 and 4. Phil Bogdan working back here. Battle for the 11th, 10th, 12th, 13th place spot. He absolutely hornets nets back here. Midway through the field, the 00 Mike Doyle works on the inside of the 888 of Corey Riptide Tessner. Troubled race 2 weeks ago at the Southern National Raceway, but it looks like the guys have cleaned it up here a little bit so far. Don't want to be the one to jinx it, so we'll knock on the wood right here in front of it. It's Corey Tessner, absolutely killer sideways in the heat race. It looks like he's trying to get it tightened back up here. Maybe that's the strategy here tonight as the tire wear wears off. Couple throwback late models in the field here tonight. Ace Throckmorton participating here at the Hickory Motor Speedway. He's in that Triple S 72 Throckmorton throwback paint scheme. Right now, though, he's trading paint with the number 6 of Zach Evans. They'll battle hard right there for the 5th place spot. Fountain will plug the hole underneath the 99 right there. Dakota Pignataro. Tessner trying to get up and going inside of his 88 late model. You're right out the front nose of the HendrickCars.com. Hornet's Nest battle behind him between James Fountain and Dakota Pignataro. Corey Tessner just trying to get a decent finish here tonight, as he has not had the season he was looking for all year long after getting absolutely pummeled, battled, and smothered all over the channel this year on season 4. Right now, though, Chase Johnson trying to run back down the Canadian of Luca Torcott. We're 10 laps into the Carolina Nationals Hickory Motor Speedway. I think it's only right we get you down on the racetrack for tonight's first I-85 Asphalt Series Fast and Live. Welcome back here on the Booty Scoot Racing Channel, cranking it up fast and loud style, presented to you by Maynard Motors. Here on the Booty Scoot Racing Channel right now, the Canadian of Luca Torcott has sailed away with the race lead over Chase Johnson, about 1.3 seconds to open up the Carolina Nationals. Chase Johnson, 3-time series champion here in the late model stock division, 4-time winner on the season, looking to do 4 in a row after 3-peating 2 weeks ago at the Southern National Raceway. Michael Johnson put on a hell of a show with the guy behind him, Patrick McPeak, last night in the wheel and modified division. No wonder here they are, finding themselves nose to tail in the late model stocks. Right now it's the 61 of Patty McPeak on the bottom side of Michael Johnson. Traffic starting to get big time slow here. Are we seeing the tire wear that we expected here tonight? Everybody single file 20 laps into the Carolina Nationals. This was one of the drivers that we talked to earlier in the garage, the 00 of Mike Doyle. He told us that he needed an absolute great day here tonight. He wanted a chance to at least try to make his money back when it came to the payouts a few races from now. In 4 races or so, Mike Doyle paid the $5 entry fee to get into the I-85 Asphalt Series late model stock division. Did not have the season, and he was looking forward to kick off the year. He's rebounded pretty good so far this year. Mike Doyle has the shot here late into the season if he could keep running off consistent laps. And that doesn't go for his same with his teammate, the 99 of Dakota Pignataro from New Bern. These two guys absolutely do know each other in real life, and when you get them in the garage area together, it's absolute mayhem. Zach Evans on the outside, though, and that Me-5 late model struggling here early, 23 laps in. We got about 100 laps left to go on the Booty Scoot Racing Channel, and we already start seeing some problem out of these guys. You better save some Hoosier rubber, where you're going to find yourself with a non-clearable, black flag for a blown right tire damage that you must go down on the pit lane and serve if you do get it. Right now, though, look at this battle right here for the 13th place position. It's going to be Chris Schaffner, Andrew Parnell. Make sure you go check out that YouTube page on the side of that Chris Schaffner 22 late model. You'll get the onboard shot of Chris Schaffner driving around, battling hard door to door here with Andrew Parnell. You see Andrew Parnell on here. He's got his Ricky Bobby equipment on. He's trying to make himself grab a little extra speed, doing everything possible. The Yard Foundation on board Chris Schaffner this week. And here comes Aaron Evans trying to plug the hole. Chris Nottie sitting back here trying to save a little bit of Hoosier rubber. Luca Torcott's given up about a second or about a tenth or so to Chase Johnson over the last 3 or 4 laps. Chase Johnson trying everything he knows best to keep the 2 fast guys behind him. Chase Johnson in this STI late model didn't throw back this week at the late model stock division throwback race at Hickory, but he's got one of those same winning paint schemes. If we're going to continue to win, why change the paint scheme? Caution free, 30 laps into the Hickory Motor Speedway here tonight, live on the Booty Scoot Racing channel. Several guys starting to feel effects of going all out. 30 laps into tonight's scheduled 125. This Bay Customs late model of Andrew Parnell, though, absolutely hooked up through turns 1 and 2. Struggling hard through turns 3 and 4 at the current moment. Patty McPeak works down on the inside of the PSD late model, number 40, Pacematic on board of Michael Johnson. Ace Throckmorton working his way back up here after winning the heat race here tonight. So battles continue to work around the Hickory Motor Speedway, the world's most famous short track, where drivers have absolutely, over the last 50 to 60, maybe 75 years, have cut their teeth. Ladies and gentlemen, the Hickory Motor Speedway, from its early days and since opening in 1951 as a half-mile dirt oval, in the current day, Hickory Motor Speedway is the world's fastest, Hickory's fastest drivers have had what it takes to win at the racing's highest levels. I mean, you could think guys back like Ned Jarrett, Dale Jarrett cut their teeth, Ryan Blaney here at the Hickory Motor Speedway, Bubba Wallace. I mean, tons of guys have cut their, whoa, we got a caution flag out on the racetrack. It looks like it's for the triple deucer Chris Notties. He's parked backwards on the front straightaway. First caution flag comes in well over 30 laps into tonight's Carolina Nationals, and it's for the Triple Deuce Slim Jim machine of Chris Nottie. We will back that ass up for the instant replay. Take a look and see what happened to the Slim Jim machine of Chris Nottie. On the outside of Nate Hall and number 18, Weekend Woodsman, U.S. Air Force late model, and just gets tagged in the left rear right there by Nate Hall. Probably didn't mean to do it intentionally, but contact was made. Nowhere for Phil Bogdan to go. He collects the left rear of the Slim Jim machine, and you see the left rear tire is absolutely cooked on that Triple Deuce late model. Will he be able to continue? Chris Nottie will crab walk it down into the pit lane here and try to service this late model. Not entirely sure how it'll shake out here. Andrew Parnell will come down on the pit lane as well in his number 3 Bay Customs late model. Everybody else stays out on the racetrack. No tires in the pits, but you see everybody else go to the top side of the racetrack and try to collect a little bit of marbles, knock some heat off of this tire, because folks, if you run very slow at a pace at a racetrack like Hickory Motor Speedway that has a lot of rubber buildup, as you see the marbles just absolutely flying all over the racetrack, this is going to absolutely widen up the track here, especially if all these guys continue to knock the marbles up further and further towards the wall. This will open up maybe a half another lane of these guys to maybe race, beat, bang, and batter here tonight at Hickory. We are currently race recap pulled up on our screen. 36 laps into tonight's event. We've only been under caution for that caution flag that just took place on our screen with Chris Nottie. I mean, it's 4 laps underneath the yellow flag as we get ready to take the green here momentarily. It'll be the Canadian Luca Torcott on the front row here, headed him through the restart zone. The Canadian will be in full control to restart when he wants to. He'll step down on the gas. Green flag back in the air, hit the Hickory Motor Speedway. Great restart right there for the Canadian and Chase Johnson. They'll clear themselves around those two teammates of Patty McPeak and Michael Johnson, the 2 P&D late models going at it here on the bottom side of the racetrack. AF1 Racing is the team name. Throckmorton trying to make up the move here. Here comes James Fountain, that number 24 late model on the bottom side. Trouble in the heat race, went around early, battling some loose in tight off conditions. James Fountain, who appears to have adjusted on that late model. Here comes Corey Riptide Tesner. He's up 5 spots from where he started. Got a little choppy there in the heat race with the 72 that he's battling door-to-door right now with Ace Throckmorton. Tesner put the bumper to Ace Throckmorton, sent him to the top side of the racetrack. Throckmorton was able to hold on to it, though. Tesner, though, keeps his foot in it off the exit of turn 4. He's able to make the spot up over the 72. Now he'll work on the door for the number 40 of Michael Johnson. Andrew Parnell gets loose, almost goes around, but he's able to keep it up and going. Will stay underneath the green flag condition. A great call from the admin as the rest of the pack settles down into turn 3 and 4. James Fountain all over the back bumper of Ace Throckmorton's number 72 late model. You're riding out the front the front roof cam, of downtown Dylan Thomas as he works down into the exit of turn 2, trying to get back some more position. How many of these drivers know that there's well over 65 laps, maybe 70 laps to go here tonight on the Booty Scoot Racing channel? And if you do not save your race car, you may not see the end of the checker flag here tonight. Chase Johnson wants the race lead around the Canadian of Luca Torcott. Will door slam him through turns 3 and 4, get down on the apron. Luca Torcott's not going to be denied here. Chase Johnson wants his 5th win on the year. Looking to four-peat it here in the I-85 Asphalt Series. Something he's never done before. Battle for the race lead. Battle for 3rd and 4th. Back here goes Corey Tessner on the inside of Johnson. Fountain working his way up here. These are 3 Chase Johnson late models going at it. Chase Johnson, the team owner, trying to grab the race lead. Here come his teammates selling right behind him. They maybe have brought some winning pieces here tonight. Door painting, trading paint. Corey Tessner and Michael Johnson have not separated over the last 8 laps. We'll take a round around Hickory Motor Speedway, riding out the front nose of James Fountain. He's got a great view of this battle. Bang, 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 all over through the racetrack. Trading paints between Corey Tessner and Michael Johnson. This is going to end in near disaster, for riding side by side is only going to allow these top 3 drivers to pull away from the pack. Right now, Michael Johnson, Corey Tessner giving less than an inch, less than a millimeter to one another, and they are playing traffic jam to the rest of the guys behind him. It's already tough to pass the way it is. James Fountain is going to have to make quick work of either his teammate or Michael Johnson. What a save right there from Corey Riptide Tessner as Chris Knighty works off of the pit lane. He'll look to rejoin a safely spot onto the racetrack without causing any kind of incident. Chris Knighty absolutely destroyed there. Nothing of his wrongdoing, took out by the number 18 of Nate Hall. It's been a clean one so far here in Hickory. These guys have absolutely cleaned it up from 2 weeks ago at the Southern National Speedway, and we cannot be more happier. The Hickory Motor Speedway is the world's most famous short track here in Hickory, North Carolina at the Catawba region. The Carolina Nationals, home of the I-85 Asphalt Series late model stock race here at Hickory. Throwback, we got one slow on the bottom side, but it is off of the racetrack. That is the number 3 of Andrew Parnell. Andrew Parnell will look to a safe spot to rejoin the racetrack. Chase Johnson able to grab the race lead there at some point around Patty McPeak or Luca Torcott. Not entirely sure how that one happened, but Patrick McPeak will work back to the left rear quarter panel of the 957 of Chase Johnson. We've caught a cloud or something here behind at the Hickory Motor Speedway. Maybe this will cool the track temp off. Tessner starting to go backwards now after possibly hitting up these Hoosier tires. 52 laps into the Carolina Nationals. Chase Johnson, the 3-time series champion, has the race lead. We'll get you back down on the racetrack for a fast and loud as we apologize for having the instant replay up. Welcome back here, presented to you by Maynard Motors. Another I-85 Asphalt Series fast and loud battle at the Hickory Motor Speedway continuing to take place here. The battle for the race lead on lap number 60 between the 957 STI Johnson late model of Chase Johnson, the 3-time series champion, being ran down by last night's Whelen Modified winner, Patrick McPeak. Patrick McPeak has 2 wins on the Whelen Modified division. He's looking for a win here tonight in the late model stocks if he can get one. Traffic is up ahead, that's lap traffic of Andrew Parnell in the Bay Customs number 3 late model. He's slow off of the pace, battling some loose in, loose off of conditions. Can the lap traffic be what plays part here tonight in the battle for the race win? Nobody giving an inch here in the Carolina Nationals. Guys really starting to fall into the places that they maybe might be stuck out for the rest of the event. Andrew Parnell hoping and praying for a caution flag to re-rack the field. He would be the lucky dog currently at the moment, 2 laps down, looking for an opportunity to get his lap back. The weather report currently as the sun has been stuck behind a cloud for a while now. Partly cloudy conditions coming into tonight's event. 82 degrees on 65 laps into tonight's event. It's been one hell of a show. We've had 2 caution flags, well, excuse me, 1 caution flag, maybe 2 here tonight for 4 laps. 2 different lead changes, and Patrick McPeak's looking to make it 3 as they work their way through lap traffic. Andrew Parnell gets up out of the way. Patrick McPeak, big time loose, but he's able to hold on to the late model, trying to make the pass around Showtime Chase Johnson. Patrick McPeak's going to have to be patient here tonight. He still has well over 60 laps to go, maybe now 58 laps to go until the end of the checkered flag being paid out here tonight. Look at the right front on that 18 late model. Absolutely killed for Nate Hall. These guys battling it out hard for the race lead, though, will absolutely give the rest of the crew on the field an opportunity to maybe battle for a chance at it here late. If these guys are going to continue to go hard as hell lap after lap after lap, you're just going to burn the Hoosier rubber up on your late model, on your Whelen Modified. But you see a ton of these guys get to the top side of the racetrack underneath the caution flags and try to throw the marbles to the top side to cool off the temperature inside of the late models. We were talking about it majority with some of the guys inside of the league on the garage area. Look at this battle right here between Tessner and Pignataro. A lot of these drivers agreed that the tire model here on the iRacing platform for the late models, look at that trading paint right there between the 88 and the 99. The tire model here inside of the late model is very temperature dependent more than it really is based on wear. 3 wide at the Hickory Motor Speedway almost never works, and they're able to figure it out. Mike Doyle on the inside of the 88 HendrickCars.com late model. Corey Tessner, the 18 of Nate Hall, stuck in the outside safer barrier, but he's able to get it up and moving, though. He'll just chastain it around turn 2. The inside here comes downtown Dylan Thomas looking to get around James Fountain on lap number 72 of 125 here at the Hickory Motor Speedway for the Carolina Nationals. This will be the portion part of the event tonight when we would start seeing the comers and goers as they start to eventually, I'd imagine somewhere around maybe 60, 65 laps, green flag ran tonight on these tires. Who's conserved them the best and who's going to make the run towards the front here at the end? Right now, the Ace Throckmorton, 72 late model would be my pick to win the race here from South Boston, Virginia. He was fast in the heat race, but he's lost a little bit of track position. Currently scored in the 4th place position. Throwback scheme for the Triple S Throckmorton racing team this week, the world's finest race team. We'll see how these guys manage to make elect to manage the race these last 50 laps. Chris Schaffner having a decent night here tonight in this number 22. Late model, trouble off of turn 2. Corey Tessner's around with Mike Doyle. Caution flag out here on the Booty Scoot Racing channel for Corey Riptide Tessner. Indevious Mike Doyle. We'll back that ass up for the instant replay. We will back that ass up for the instant replay. Mike Doyle from Middletown, New Jersey, involved in the accident here with Corey Tessner. We'll back up, take a look. Heading down into turns 1 and 2, Mike Doyle on the bottom side of Corey Tessner. Not able to clear him. Not sure if somebody came down, somebody came up, but contact definitely was made between the 2 drivers, and this will be the perfect opportunity to bust out tonight's I-85 Asphalt Series drone cam for the first time here at Hickory. Diving down into turns 1 and 2, Mike Doyle on the bottom side. You see him come up just a tad bit. Tessner trying to hold his line as well. You see Peeler in the distance. Contacts made. Tessner goes around, and so does Mike Doyle. Both of these guys involved in the accident, I would imagine. They'll be at the tail end of the field. We're back here on the main broadcast cam, and bang, bang, bang. They are. There's the race leader, Chase Johnson, slowly emerging behind the lap traffic guys that he had underneath. This will absolutely bring the field back together. Chase Johnson trying to grab race win number 5 on the season and four-peat it here tonight in season 4. Patrick McPeak will be scored 2nd, followed by Michael Johnson. Throckmorton will get 3rd, followed by downtown Dylan Thomas. Downtown Dylan Thomas will get third place position, followed by Ace Throckmorton in the fourth place position. Ladies and gentlemen, we are getting ready to go racing this next time around at the Hickory Motor Speedway after caution flag. Quick and early. Put it back on the main broadcast cam for you folks. Chase Johnson will be the race leader. Patrick McPeak on the outside. Michael Johnson second row, followed by Ace Throckmorton. Downtown Dylan Thomas on the inside with James Fountain to his outside, followed by Zach Evans, Dakota Pignataro, Adam Peeler, and Aaron Evans, the top 10 drivers when the green flag follows back here in just a moment in the Catawba region. The Hickory Motor Speedway will keep the lights on top of the pace car, so we'll take at least one more lap to make sure that we have everybody in the correct order and position that they need to be. And ladies and gentlemen, the Carolina Nationals, proud sponsor here of the I-85 Asphalt Series, giving us a chance and an opportunity to bring you some awesome clean racing each and every single season here on the Booty Scoot Racing channel. Mike Doyle, Corey Tessler will be waved around to the tail end of the field. So these guys will not lose a lap for being passed by the pace car, trying to get turned around there. Ladies and gentlemen, we are getting ready to go back racing. We'll pull up tonight's race recap. Only 2 lead changes. They've both been between the 957 of Chase Johnson and the Canadian Aflac late model of Luca Torcott, who's absolutely falling backwards here. We'll have more of that story here in just a moment. 82 laps are completed out of the schedule, 125. 2 different lead changes, 2 caution flags for 11 laps here tonight. Luca Torcott not having the race that he was looking for, either involved in an accident or something beyond those lines. Luca Torcott, the Canadian, scheduled a lap down here in the 17th place position after battling for the race lead there with Chase Johnson. So we're hearing from the admin, the lights will go off on top of the pace car this time around. Green flag will go back in the air with less than 40 laps to go. It's anybody's ball game. You're just going to have to manage it properly. Do the right things to find yourself in victory lane. Got several different race drivers up here looking for their first win of the season after it has been an absolute stink show from the 957 of Chase Johnson. He has won every race majority up to this point. The only other one beside that has been Patty McPeak, as he won the first race, on the air. Green flag back in the air here at lap number 85 of the Carolina Nationals at the Hickory Motor Speedway. Battle for the race lead between Patrick McPeak and Chase Johnson. McPeak gets nudged from Michael Johnson. He'll go around on the front straightaway off turn 4, and the caution flag will fly. This is where things could get really, really bad, folks, and caution flags breed caution flags is what I really should have said. We'll back that ass up for the instant replay. We never want to blame anybody for anything. Patrick McPeak down here on the inside, moves maybe right down in front of the number 40 of Michael Johnson, gets clipped in the left rear, almost has it saved, but he's hard on the inside, safe for barrier. We'll back that ass up again. Look out the tail end gearbox cam of the number 61 late model. If he just come right across the front nose of the 40, I think that's exactly maybe what had just happened right there. Patty McPeak has to lock it down hard on the inside, safe for barrier. So we'll back it up one more time. This should be a hell of a shot on board, riding with the number 61 of Patrick McPeak. Kind of see what he's seen. Pow! Hard on the inside for the number 61, Patrick McPeak from Mount Airy, North Carolina. Really had the opportunity of battling Chase Johnson for the win here. Hickory will have to start from the back this time around, and hopefully he can get this number 61 patched up and going again. That'll put Ace Throckmorton up to the second place position, and the number 72. Throwback paint scheme, a beautiful race car here tonight. 72 of Ace Throckmorton won the heat race. He'll snag 3 bonus points to his total score. Ace Throckmorton had a hell of a race in the Rising Stars division here on the Booty Scoot Racing channel. You may be asking yourself, what is a Rising Stars division? Well, the Rising Stars division was created inside of the I-85 Asphalt Series, intended for brand new incoming drivers that cannot participate full-time here in the late models and modifieds due to the season being paid entry and currently active and ongoing. These drivers now that join the Rising Stars division will have an opportunity to race here on the Booty Scoot Racing channel, changing the track, car discipline, and type each and every single time they go racing. Nate Hall hard on the outside, safe for barrier, head on. We'll keep the instant replay cam up, and we'll back that ass up with Nate Hall. Hard shot to the outside, safe for barrier. Not entirely sure what just took place with Nate on the restart. Not sure if he got ran over, just lost control. Had some trouble earlier inside of this number 18, and hard to the outside tire barrier. Maybe took a wider angle than he needed. I'm not entirely sure about that one. I'm trying to keep my laugh together here. Don't want to laugh at nobody. Nate Hall here on the restart, right across the line, hits the outside wall, and whoa, there's a tire barrier there. Hey, Nate, buddy, you cannot park there. The 18 tore up late here at Hickory Motor Speedway, and going back down here on the main broadcast cam, we're at the Hickory Motor Speedway. Nate Hall hits the outside tire barrier meant for safety here in turn 1 and 2. All of these drivers will go to the top side of the racetrack looking to clear off their tires, expand maybe a little bit of racing room. The temperature variant tires here inside of the Hoosier rubber compound that they brought here tonight at Hickory for the late models is very, very, very tire temperature dependent. As many caution flags as we keep getting will absolutely help out the ones that are up front. It'll cool down the tires. It'll give them the grip back, and they'll be able to defend back for their starting positions that they are going to restart in. However, though, if you maybe don't clean your tires up and you run slow down in the rubber, collect a little bit of rubber, you might spin your rubber here on the restart. Maybe if you've burned up a little bit too much Hoosier rubber here tonight throughout the 90-plus laps that have been turned underneath the green flag condition, you might find yourself in trouble here late. We'll take one more lap around the Hickory Motor Speedway. The Carolina Nationals currently on our way in the late model stock division. 94 laps are completed out of the scheduled 125. So we'll have about 30 laps to go when the green flag flies back in the air. We've got two racing teammates on the front row. It's James Fountain driving one of those Chase Johnson Racing late models with Chase Johnson, the driver owner, the race leader here. How do these two drivers elect to play each other? James Fountain up 12 spots from where he started. He's currently the Hard Charger Award. Can he grab some more bonus points? Green flag back in the air here at Hickory. Adam Peeler in the number 27 trying to make something shake on the outside of downtown Dylan Thomas. James Fountain on the outside of Ace Throckmorton, but Throckmorton rolls the bottom there really well in this 72 late model. We said it earlier, we didn't want to pick a winner. Ace Throckmorton looked really good. He walked backwards and tried to look like he saved a little bit of Hoosier rubber, but he'll still have 30 laps to try to make the pass around Chase Johnson. He'll plug the hole around James Fountain through 4. If you know anything about James Fountain, he's not going to be happy with the way that he was just raced. He's being door-banged right now by the number 6 of Zach Evans in this Me-Fine late model. Zach Evans won the Whelen Modified race 2 weeks ago at the Southern National Raceway by pure saving tires on the long run. As Zach Evans put up some kind of recipe, cooked up something here late at Hickory. 27 laps to go for the late model, this next time around. On the outside, Brandon McAbee makes it 3 wide around Patrick McPeak and Corey Tessner, and he's able to clear himself off of turn 4. What a move right there from Brandon McAbee. From Spartanburg, South Carolina. Brandon McAbee working his way up through the field, but he'll collect Aaron Evans, ship him around through 3 and 4. Aaron Evans goes around in the Aaron's late model. Caution flag is out here on the Booty Scoot Racing channel, and I hate to be it, as we were watching Brandon McAbee get right there into the left rear of Aaron Evans, battling hard. Looking at the tail end of the 48, Brandon McAbee right behind him in the 31. Brandon McAbee gets down to the bottom side, just collects the left rear, and pow, hard to the outside, safe for barrier. More contact up ahead, sends Chris Schaffner around. We'll back that ass up one more time and right around with Aaron Evans. Him and Phil Bogdan trading paint off of turn 2, heading down into turn 3. Brandon McAbee just gets in there a little bit too hard. Ships around the number 48, and Chris Schaffner gets a little bit of something as well from Chris Knighty. The two Chris's trade paint here on the front straightaway. Caution flag does fly, though, on the Booty Scoot Racing channel. Not entirely sure. Had a hell of a race to kick it off here. Caution flag fest here the last couple 20, 25, maybe 30 laps or so. We've went from 1 caution flag to now 5 for 23 laps here at the Hickory Motor Speedway. So these guys will now officially get less than 100 laps of green flag racing. Opportunities being wasted here if you think about it on the long run. We only have 4 races remaining after tonight here on the Booty Scoot Racing channel. You're going to have a chance to grab as many points as possible, and it makes that really difficult when you are pacing underneath the caution flag lap after lap. It'll recycle the heat cycle inside of the tires, and these guys that are up front that maybe had a disadvantage early on are back on the same level playing field as the rest of the field. It'll be all in the hands of Chase Johnson. Green flag back in the air here on the Booty Scoot Racing channel. 22 laps to go here on the Booty Scoot Racing channel. These drivers are trying to figure it all out. It's been an absolute banger race so far. 60-something odd laps underneath the green flag condition. Been a little messy here in the last 10 or 15 or so. Bogdan loose up the racetrack right there off the front nose of McPeak. Contact made between him and Aaron Evans. Aaron Evans able to hold on to the late model. He'll fight back down on the bottom side of Patrick McPeak. Battle for the race lead here between Ace Throckmorton and Chase Johnson with 20 laps to go. As Ace Throckmorton saved a little bit of rubber, Patrick McPeak goes around here on the Booty Scoot Racing channel. Him and Phil Bogdan are spun out down the back straightaway. We'll back that ass up here on the Booty Scoot Racing channel for another instant replay for the 6th time here tonight, this time between Patrick McPeak and Phil Bogdan. We'll take a look here. Heading through turns 2, McPeak gets into the left rear, Phil Bogdan. They both go around off the exit of turn 2 and headed down the back straightaway, parked on the infield camper spot. We'll go up here to the spotter stand and kind of get a better angle of what the spotter's seeing to see exactly if they could have maybe called that a little better off turn 2. McPeak gets to the inside of Phil Bogdan right there, gets up on top of the racetrack, maybe got back into the gas a little bit too hard, got tight, gets into the left rear of Phil Bogdan, sends both of them around off the exit of turn 2. I'll tell you back here on the live broadcast, cam live on the Booty Scoot Racing channel at the Hickory Motor Speedway for the Carolina Nationals. Chase Johnson, the race leader, with Ace Throckmorton to the outside on the restart. It will be James Fountain in the 3rd place position when we go back racing. That is Chase Johnson's teammate in the 24. Zach Evans for MND Motorsports in the Me-Fine late model will have an opportunity to win the race here tonight at Hickory, followed by Adam Peeler. That's the top 5 drivers here as everybody else works throughout the field. Currently right now, James Fountain, driver the number 24 Busch Light Golf late model, riding on board the 24. James Fountain, I don't know if the team's told him, but he is up 11 spots, from where he started. James Fountain currently has the bonus point for the Hard Charger Award. That'll be a nice little point to add to the total score of James Fountain if he can keep this late model in one piece here, through the final few laps at Hickory. We'll take one more lap around the Booty Scoot Racing channel live here tonight. Dakota Pignataro has had one hell of a race in this black and gold late model. Clean, though. It has no scratches, no beats, no bangs, no benders, none of that. Dakota Pignataro trying to keep this late model in one piece. He's smoothly inside of the top 10, sitting in the 7th place position right now. Dakota Pignataro up 5 positions from where he started. He may be one of the only other ones to contend for the Hard Charger Award here tonight, as Aaron Evans is up 6 spots from where he started, and he's got a ton more to make up. Chase Johnson will be in control of yet another restart within the last 25 laps. Green flag back in the air here on the Booty Scoot Racing channel between Chase Johnson and Ace Throckmorton and James Fountain battling out. Throckmorton goes down on the bottom side. He'll put the bumper to the back bumper of the number 957 of Chase Johnson. They'll battle off the exit of turn 2 and down into turn 3 and 4. Johnson, though, is able to get the run off of turn 3 like he was liking for. Peeler gets it to the back of James Fountain, shoots him around off the exit of turn 4. Caution flag flies. Caution flag flies again, man. 6 caution flags in 30 laps. Not entirely sure what has gotten into the drivers here tonight on the Booty Scoot Racing channel. James Fountain, accidents do happen, gets turned around by Adam Peeler. Adam Peeler goes into turn 3 and 4. Maybe James Fountain had to get up out the gas for Ace Throckmorton and just gets ran over right there. We'll back that ass up one more time. We'll ride on board with James Fountain out the gyro gam and see if he had to get up out of the gas. Definitely was slower than he needed to be, and Adam Peeler could have been a little bit slower as well, but Adam Peeler is definitely the one that got into the back end of James Fountain right there. Whether or not these guys battling hard or not, you got to take care of one another. The Carolina Nationals now currently working its 7th caution flag here tonight for 31 laps at the Hickory Motor Speedway. Points opportunities being wasted here on the long run, giving away the opportunity to build back into the championship standings. Every single one of these guys have paid an entry fee to get into the late model stock division, with the top 10 drivers and point finishers, will be paid a payout here by the I-85 Asphalt Series based on where you finish in points. Right now, the 957 of Chase Johnson leads the points series after he has 4 regular season race wins currently at this moment, looking for race win number 5 and what would be 4 in a row. Who can beat the 957 here inside of the I-85 Asphalt Series? He is now looking for career win number 21 here tonight. Ace Throckmorton on the outside looking for race win number 1 inside of the late model stock division for his Triple S Throckmorton racing team. Behind him will be the late model of Zach Evans from MND Motorsports. Zach Evans has a late model win underneath his belt back in season 3 last year. But Zach Evans once more here after a great performance last night in the Wheeling Modified. Peter the pace car should hang the left down on the pit lane. It'll be all in the hands of Chase Johnson. Green flag back in the air here on the Booty Scoot Racing channel with 8 laps to go. Chase Johnson has the race lead over Ace Throckmorton and Zach Evans. They'll battle down into turns 3 and 4 for the Carolina Nationals here at the Hickory Motor Speedway for the I-85 Asphalt Series. Johnson looking 3 wide on the inside of the 99 of Pignataro. Tessner gets a little bit of trading paint there with Johnson. They went at it earlier in tonight's event. They'll battle for the 5th place position down into 3 and 4. One goes around off the exit of turn 4. Yellow flag, and I'm not entirely sure what for. We'll back that ass up on the Booty Scoot Racing channel and take a look and see exactly what happened. It says caution flag, and don't see anybody down here. We got one slow down here. It's Nate Hall, but I don't think that would have triggered the caution flag. And throw it back up to the main broadcast cam and see if we can't get into some kind of idea of what's going on here between. Lights are off on top of the pace car. We're getting ready to go back racing, so we're at least trying to save as many laps as possible to avoid the overtime. It still will be a 2-lap shootout regardless here at the Carolina Nationals at the Hickory Motor Speedway. 2 overtime attempts in the book if we need them. Chase Johnson looking for win number 5 on the year, 4 in a row. Throckmorton on the outside looking to sweep the weekend with the heat win and the race win. Green flag back in the air here at the Hickory Motor Speedway. Three laps to go at Hickory. Johnson on the bottom side trying to defend his position. Pignataro, door slams. Tessner up the racetrack. 2 of them go around on the front straightaway. We're going to overtime here at Hickory. Bogdan's around. Johnson's around. So is Tessner. He might be cooked. He's smoking out the engine of the number 88. We'll back that ass up for the instant replay. Take a look and see exactly what just took place here on the Booty Scoot Racing channel. We'll throw it up to the drone cam and see if we can't slow it down there. Pignataro definitely gets hard into turn 3 and 4. Bogdan already has Michael Johnson jacked sideways, but Schaffner has Bogdan sideways, and Tessner goes around, and Johnson just door bangs him big time hard. So we will back that ass up here. We'll ride around with Corey Riptide. Tessner, take a look and see what happened. The contact came a smidge before the corner. Pignataro gets in there. There was contact made. Tessner gets up the racetrack. Aaron Evans gets into the back of the 88. Ships around Corey Tessner hard on the inside wall. We'll back that ass up one more time. See if we can't ride out the front nose of Aaron Evans' 48 Lowe's late model as the wreck happened right in front of him. Corey Tessner gets shipped around here on the front straightaway, hard on the inside wall, and the rest is history here at the Hickory Motor Speedway. Tessner tore up big time. So we are headed to the overtime here tonight in the Carolina Nationals at the Hickory Motor Speedway. Chase Johnson leads it as we have worked 8 caution flags in the last 35 laps. Again, 8 caution flags in the last 35 laps. Only 2 different lead changes here tonight. We will head to the overtime. For those of you guys wondering how the overtime will work, very simple, folks. Green, white, checkered style here tonight on the Booty Scoot Racing channel at the Carolina Nationals. These guys will get 2 attempts at the overtime. When the green flag flies in the air, it'll be a 2-lap shootout. When these guys come around and they get in within the striking distance zone, which is where they are right about now, the white flag will be displayed. If the white flag gets displayed before they work their way back around to the to the checkered flag, then all hands are off, and whoever comes across the checkered flag will be the winner here tonight on the Booty Scoot Racing channel. However, if these guys do wreck before getting that white flag, we will re-rack them for one more opportunity here tonight at Hickory. These guys have put on a hell of a show for the biggest part of earlier tonight's race. But here at the back end of the race, it's been nothing but beating and banging, trying to grab as many points as possible, and guys are starting to move guys out of the way. Gloves are completely off here late. However, though, intentionally wrecking is absolutely permitted here inside of the I-85 Asphalt Series. You may not wreck an individual for the win. The win will go vacant, and the points will sit still and go to the next place driver. We have all of the rule book and ready for that, and these drivers know what is expected from them. They need to race with their IQs and do not detach their heads and throw it on the floorboard. Getting ready to go for a 2-lap shootout here tonight at the Hickory Motor Speedway, the throwback race for the I-85 Asphalt Series. The Carolina Nationals will take one more lap around, and we will double them up this next time. Chase Johnson will be on the front row here in the overtime, looking for win number 5 on the season in 4 in a row. The 3-time series champion looks to grab a win here tonight. On the outside of him will be the number 72 late model from South Boston, Virginia, of Ace Throckmorton, looking for career win number 1 here in the late models. Zach Evans will have an opportunity here to grab the race win if he needs it. It'll be his 2nd ever late model win if he can do it. Behind him will be downtown Dylan Thomas from Denison, Texas, who's got a modified win on the year. He's looking for a late model one. NR3 Designs on board. They would love nothing more than MND Motorsports' Dylan Thomas to go to victory lane. Dakota Pignataro has stayed still all night long, has kept the 99 out of trouble. Contact there to the number, 88 of Corey Tessner into turn 3 and 4, but it was Aaron Evans that shipped Corey Tessner around. Dakota Pignataro might have to hear a few words or so from a couple of the drivers, but he's had a great race so far. Patrick McPeak has rebounded after spinning out for 2 of the caution flags out of the 7 or so that we've just had in the last 30 laps. Green flag will be in the air this time around for the green-white checker overtime restart. Ladies and gentlemen, Dash for Cash, race number 6, the Carolina Nationals, overtime here from Hickory. Green flag is in the air. Working down into turns 1 and 2, Chase Johnson has the race lead. What will be the white flag around this time around? Presented to you by AFLglobal.com. Chase Johnson has the race lead off turn 4. It is official. The first person back to the checkered flag will win the night's race. Chase Johnson gets an excellent restart. Nobody's going to be able to hold on to the number 957. Tons of restarts at the end, but Chase Johnson holds on to it. He'll win the race here tonight at Hickory. Chase Johnson wins the race here tonight at the Hickory Motor Speedway. That will be 4 races in a row, 5 races on the year. Chase Johnson has won 5 out of 6 regular season races, and Chase Johnson getting very close to mathematically locking up the championship with about 4 races left to go. Looked like he was going to be challenged early on, and caution flags really took over there at the end, and we burned off a shit ton of laps, and none of these guys had a chance. 45 laps were paced around the caution flag here tonight. Chase Johnson got the better view of everyone else by being able to look out the front windshield. He'll pull it around the front straightaway, burn it down for the fans here at Hickory. Chase Johnson wins it here at the Hickory Motor Speedway. Back down on the main broadcast. Can we apologize there for the instant replay? It was a problem we had all night. It is on me. I'm terrible at my job. Chase Johnson wins it here tonight at the Hickory Motor Speedway for Dash for Cash race number 6, his 4th one in a row, and that'll be 5 on the regular season for the 957HingeredCars.com Algar late model. To pull around the victory lane here on the front straightaway where Dylan Thomas, Zach Evans, and Ace Throckmorton sit. They're looking like they're going to go for the post-race show. Chris Schaffner will take his late model down into the garage area, and he will unstrap that late model after a hard-fought position day here tonight on the Booty Scoot Racing channel for Chris Schaffner. Him and his team will bring home a solid 7th place finish. But it's all Chase Johnson going to victory lane here tonight, folks. We'll be back in just a moment on the Booty Scoot Racing channel with the post-race show. Stick around. You're not going to want to miss this. You might be able to hear from your favorite driver. Back here on the Booty Scoot Racing channel live here at the Hickory Motor Speedway for what is going to be an absolute, was a banger race. The bidding portion parts up tonight got a little messy there at the end, but that's what's going to happen, folks, and these guys are paying money and racing hard. But fortunate there that we was able to waste a couple laps. Some of these guys really needed the points day here tonight at Hickory, but when it was all said and done and over with here for the Carolina Nationals for race number 6 of the Dash for Cash, it was Chase Johnson and the number 957 late model going to victory lane here tonight on the Booty Scoot Racing channel as we wait for our race reporter to get into the booth with us. He'll have Chase Johnson, the race winner, with us in just a second. Our broadcast partner is getting a couple things cleared away and brought away. Folks, will bring up the starting grid, or not the starting grid, the finishing results here tonight on the Booty Scoot Racing channel, where Chase Johnson will win 4 in a row in the late model stocks division and his 5th win on the regular season. Chase Johnson Racing now has 5 wins on the regular season. Dylan Thomas will bring home 2nd, followed by Zach Evans, Ace Throckmorton, and Patrick McPeak. That was the top 5 drivers here tonight on the Booty Scoot Racing channel. Still waiting around, and Chase Johnson unstrapping the belts inside of that race car, unhooking the helmet hose, and the rest of the stuff that needs to be done here tonight on the Booty Scoot Racing channel. And not entirely sure exactly what went wrong on the back half of tonight's race. We do understand that the tire pressures and how they tire model in the late model stocks, when the caution flags continue to breed over themselves, you'll lose the temperature. Chase Johnson was the better driver here tonight at holding the temperature inside of the race car and going forward throughout the field. He never looked back after grabbing the race lead over the Canadian. And here in just a second, it looks like we are getting ready to have Chase Johnson join the booth as my post-race partner, Neil Rutt III, now joins up in the booth. Neil, what was an awesome show to kick off the race turned bad there at the end. Caution flags breed cautions.
I mean, I still wouldn't say it was as bad. Obviously, we know, obviously we got a couple cautions there at the end, but compared to our last few late model races, and especially last week's shit show, we had our most green flag runs we have all season. So pretty proud of the boys. I don't know if maybe there was a NASCAR scout or something there out in the crowd tonight. They were trying to put on their best showing. Awesome job by Chase tonight, getting the win, 4 in a row. Great job for him. Other than that, I'm proud of the boys. I think everyone really, did good for the most part, but obviously we have a couple little wrinkles we gotta figure out.
A couple wrinkles we do got to figure out indeed. Chase Johnson able to survive the caution flags there in the end and the overtime for the win. We'll go ahead and see if we can't bring him into the booth here upon the I-85 Asphalt Series broadcast. Chase Johnson, 4 in a row, 5 on the season for the HendrickCars.com 957. Kind of walk us through your race here tonight at the Hickory Motor Speedway.
Yeah, really good race overall, I think, in my eyes. After the pole, didn't really know how the race would go. I didn't know if guys were going to push early, and Luca definitely was pushing early, so kind of just had to let him go. I had to save a little bit of tire. After that, finally just got the lead from him. I know that had to be a good show for the fans to watch because it was gnarly from the car, getting the lead from him. But after that, just trying to stay consistent and not really kill my tires as much. I know Patrick was really fast tonight. All them guys behind me were fast tonight. So trying to manage the lead and my tires was kind of tough at that little track. But fun track, fun race. It was really fun to win again in Hickory. I think it's my second win in this league at Hickory. So I love these little short tracks. So yeah, really good race, and I appreciate you guys putting it on.
Yeah, we're so used to seeing you in these late models, kind of, obviously 4 wins in a row, 3-time champion, kind of go into your own, field of your own out here. But tonight seemed a little bit different. Usually you get up front, you drive away. We had the 036 led a bunch of laps, and then you were battling with McPeak for a while there. You kind of had some competition going on here towards the later part of the season.
Yeah, man, it was like I said, it was fun out there battling with Patrick. He was super fast. I think if we would have got 1 or 2 less cautions there at the end, me and him could have maybe got side by side and raced for it. I can tell you now that I wasn't going to give up that top. I think later on in the race tonight, the top was the way it was the place to be. So anytime I felt like a guy was going to get a run to me, I tried to get up top because I just felt like you can't pass on the inside. That top is just too strong. But yeah, man, really fun race. Glad that it was a little bit of competition for me tonight. I think that just goes to show how good these guys are in this league and what we can do in the future in this league. So really a good step forward from last race. So hopefully that's more to come.
That's the driver, the number 957 of Chase Johnson. Chase, another 44-point day for you. Really starting to look like you're going to mathematically lock up this championship with about 2 races to go if it continues to go the way that it is, if these guys don't get it together or something. Anybody you want to think on top of this 957 car?
Yeah, I want to just shout out to guys at CJR. Them guys, we all push each other every week to get better. So shout out to them guys. And always shout out to the good Lord, Jesus Christ, Big J. And we'll see you next week.
As Chase Johnson, 4-time winner here in season 5 in a row. 5 on the regular season for the 957 of Chase Johnson. And we'll scoot down here to the second place finisher here tonight, driver of the 03 Downtown, Dylan Thomas from Denison, Texas, driving the NR3 Designs Custom Graphics and Schemes late model. As Dylan Thomas joins the booth here, Dylan, kind of walk us through your race here tonight at the, Hickory Motor Speedway. Is not one of the tracks that we usually go to a lot. If we do, it's early on in the year, so it's so many weeks in between coming back here again. You had a bad, fast late model, drove up through the field late. Kind of walk us through it.
I just tried to ride around and save my stuff early, and kind of had things fall my way, people falling out, a couple wrecks, and found myself in a good spot.
Yeah, it seemed like you were one of the early drivers to kind of settle yourself into that top groove. We just had Chase up here, obviously our race winner, talking about pretty much once that cloud came over, it kind of cooled the track down, so you wanted to step away from the bottom. It seemed like I said, you were one of the first people to really get to the top. How was that top compared to the bottom there as the run went on?
Well, I thought I was saving my right front running the top right there, and I actually got a warning about 15 to go that my right front's fixing to go. So it helped, but I don't think it helped that much. But it helped me keep pace and not get ran over from behind. So it helped a lot, and we made it home second.
That was an awesome drive there from Dylan Thomas, and just randomly throughout the night we've come up with some kind of random nickname, Downtown Dylan Thomas. Will bring home the podium runner-up position here tonight. Anybody you want to think on top of this 03 car?
I got to thank Wicked and Woodsman, and Neil for race control, and y'all for putting this on, and Adam for the nurse aviator on the back. I screwed that up, but I wasn't prepared, so.
No, it's all good. That's the driver, the 03 of Dylan Thomas from Denison, Texas. He'll bring home the runner-up podium second place position here tonight. We'll scoot down here to the third place runner-up driver, the number 6 Me-Fi late model. And you best believe Zach Evans is going to have something to say to us. Zach, welcome into the booth here. Runner-up third place position here tonight after a great run in the modifieds last night. Kind of walk us through your weekend.
Oh, man. Good week. Needed this one bad on the late model side. You know, finally just got through one of these races without getting tangled up in anything or causing anything, because I haven't been innocent. I got into error at 5 flags or whatever, but yeah, it's been tough in this late model deal this season. But we got the 6 Me-Fine M&D Motorsports late models through this one pretty unscathed and came away with a third place finish. That last lap was crazy. I really didn't know what was going on. I just knew the only safe place coming out of turn 4 was on the bottom, so I just pinned her down there, hit the throttle, and tried to get to the line, and ended up third behind my teammate. So good showing for M&D. Happy to, like I say, finally get a good late model finish on the board. That'll definitely help in the points. And yeah, again, just tried to be there at the end, and that's been tough this season, but we made it work tonight and got a good finish out of it. So pretty happy.
Well, I usually have some good questions for you, but I'm still a little mad at you from last night.
All right.
So why don't you? You're one of our very few throwback guys
Sure.
this week. Just let us know here about your throwback and what it means to you and everything like that.
Sure. We tossed around a couple of different ideas, and we kind of landed on this. Tommy Lemon's car. Tommy Lemon Jr. drove this car off and on over the years. He's a guy that I watched race a lot when I was growing up as a fan at Southern National, along with guys like depending on the era, right? Or whether it was Deacon Caskell, Lee Pulley. You go further back, you talk about guys like Denny Hamlin, Jamie Cottle. Scott Riggs cut his teeth at Southern National, the Grubb brothers, I could sit here and nobody cares about that, but I could sit here and talk about those guys off and on all night. And so, so it was kind of a combination of a guy that I had seen a lot racing and just a cool looking car with the split look, the yellow and the orange, pink, whatever it is. So just one that kind of wanted to try out. We ran it at Southern National last week and brought it back out for Hickory for the throwback race tonight, and fortunately got some good TV time.
We appreciate it. That's the driver of the number 6 of Zach Evans, hometown North Carolina driver at that. He'll bring home another podium position here in the I-85 Asphalt Series Dash for Cash week number 6. We appreciate you showing up here tonight.
Absolutely. Thanks for having me.
Yes, sir. We'll scoot down here to the 4th place runner-up driver, the number 72, Smithy Speed Shop late model from South Boston, Virginia, throwing it back here to an old-school-looking scheme as he now joins into the booth. 8th Throckmorton. Kind of walk us through your race here tonight. Maybe look like late you're the only other one. You were my pickup here in the booth to maybe have something to contend against Chase Johnson. We've seen you kind of back up a little bit and let those guys go at it for a couple laps in front of you. And, I mean, they never really separated from one another. And you drove up there late with a couple caution flags. Kind of walk us through your race here tonight and what's this throwback scheme you have going on.
I felt like we had a great car all night. Didn't really have a good qualifying. Qualified 6th, but it gave us a few points in the heat race. Then in the actual race, I felt like we were really fast. I learned the track better, and I kind of screwed up my restarts. I felt like a lot, and I was not locked in. I had a headache this entire race, so it really wasn't locked in, and felt like we had something for Chase Johnson, but I burnt up the right front. Kind of got tight on the end out of 4 and kind of slid up into Patrick, I felt like, and ruined that 2nd place finish for us, the team.
Sorry. I was trying to drink my water here. Great showing here tonight. Like I said, most of the times throughout the race, you tend to kind of battle through the mid pack, save a little bit of your stuff. But tonight you kind of showed your cards a little too early there, but you were there at the end, battling with our winner Chase Johnson. A couple little games there in the restart zone. That's going to happen here on these short tracks. We all know how that is. But great performance. Showed your speed. You came out early at the beginning of the season with pretty raw speed. I think you're slowly starting to get that little itch back here.
Yeah. I feel like we've getting really better. I think the win's incoming for the team. Well, I mean, Walker had a great showing last week. Couldn't make it tonight because of that test. And Luca was really fast at the start and led a few laps. And then I don't know what happened to him at the end. I just heard that he kept hitting the wall, and I just saw him fall back, and then just didn't see him throughout the rest of the race, really.
It was a fine race from the number 72 late model here tonight. A top 5 for the Triple S Throckmorton Racing Smithy Speed Shop late model. Kind of want to give us a little preview what this throwback was here tonight, since you were one of the few that participated.
Yeah, we threw it back to an old Benny Parsons car with just 72 car. I felt like we needed to do a throwback for Hickory because it's one of the old tracks like that we needed to do throwbacks for, like throwback classic. And then Milwaukee, we got a pretty cool throwback going on for that. We're ready for that race. And then Smithy Speed Shop, we had a really fast car. I would like to thank them. They gave me Tom and like helped me get through this race. Really helped me learn the track, and my spotter was really good tonight. Helped me save. Felt like I saved a lot of tire, but really didn't show it. But at the end, so felt like we were really good, and that win is incoming for us. I feel like either in the modified or the late model division.
And we appreciate it. We'll see you 2 weeks from now in the Wheeling Modified Division at the Milwaukee Mile in late models at Kern County. That's the 72 of Ace Throckmorton, driver of the 72 Smithy Speed Shop throwback late model here tonight in P4. We'll scoot down here to the top 5 finisher from Mountain Area, North Carolina, driver of the number 61 late model. That's Patrick McPeak as he joins in the booth here with us. Patrick, kind of walk us through your race here tonight on the Booty Scoot Racing channel. Again, maybe, like I just told Throckmorton, maybe you were one of the other ones that had a shot to beat Chase Johnson here tonight. I know the caution flags made it really, really difficult the way that the tire temperatures are on the tire model for the late models, but contact there to the back end of the 61 shipped you around off turn 4. Kind of walk us through it.
Just very, very eventful. I started where I finished, so it's just, I kind of think I've pissed off the 29. I think I pissed him off pretty bad, I think. I don't know for sure. I haven't gotten no message from him or anything yet, but it was my fault. I throttled up too early and ended up clipping him and spun him out, and just more stupid mistakes on my part, and also chopping the nose on my teammate and ended up getting myself spun. Just making rookie mistakes in these cars, just wanting to be competitive in these cars, but just really just can't get the hang out of them unless it's a flat track. And yeah, it's just very, very eventful and disappointed in it, but we've still made a top 5, and that's the goal every single week.
Yeah, this track, obviously, as Nick went over for the broadcast and everything, haven't been repaved since 92. So, the bumps, it unsettles, it de-wedges the car. You're constantly up on the wheel here. The contact with your teammate, obviously, it's hard racing. It sucks. You two got together. The end goal kind of sucked for both of you there, with both of you kind of climbing there through the field and showing your speed there at the end. You're picking up on these late models. I'll be honest with you. You got the modifieds down packed, so we don't need to worry about that. I think eventually, if it ain't in 2 weeks, I think by the end of the year we'll definitely see you in victory lane on this late model side.
Well, I already won South Boston, but it's just when it comes to a flat track, I can run it. It's just when we run bank tracks, we have problems, and because these cars are here on the right front, it wants to die, and that's why I don't like these under horsepower cars. But I'm still debating on if I want to run these next year or not. But we'll figure it out during the off season.
We appreciate it. That's Patrick McPeak from Mountain Airy, North Carolina. And Patrick, I'm not very entirely sure if you're just a short track late model, we're the modified guy, but we got all kinds of things here on the Booty Scoot Racing channel, from NASCAR trucks to O'Reilly. Please feel free to come join anything that we have racing on any other night.
next season we're going to try and get a truck and AF1 running over in the MRL. Maybe we might could show something there, because I know both of us are actually pretty good at running the trucks. And if we can do something with the trucks, we'll probably make it a part-time truck. Don't know for sure, but we'll see what happens.
We appreciate it. That's the 61 of Patrick McPeak, close to picking up his second win on the season. He'll bring home the top 5 spot here tonight on the Booty Scoot Racing channel. We'll scoot down here to the 6th place final spot here tonight. The driver that we have up in the booth is the number 99 of Dakota Pignataro. Dakota, kind of walk us through your race here tonight. Not entirely sure if you're not going to be here 2 weeks from now, like you said last night with the modifieds at Kern County. So if this is going to be the case, a top 6 finish here tonight. We said it more than 4 times, I know for sure. The 99 kept its nose clean all night long. There's not a scratch on this late model. Walk us through it.
It felt good right out the gate from practice. Screwed up in qualifying a little bit, but good old Boogeyman was here at the track tonight and was busting my chops in the pits. I channeled my inner boogie a little bit and figured had a pretty bad run of races ever since South Boston was our last good one. But just want to work our way up, go for that hard charger, and try to climb back up into the points.
Yeah, you know, you kind of rolled around there for the middle of the pack for most of the race there. Climbed your way back in. Got a couple little issues out there. You know, we're not trying to build any stories here. It's hard racing here at the end, but you know, when it comes down to this old worn out track, you know, you tend to bump and run people sometimes, you know, shitty outcomes, but that's what we get here for running the short track. Will we see you in 2 weeks? That's the golden question.
We might be back for Kern. We'll see what the flight schedules look like. But I just wanted to give a quick shout out again, since I'm going to be missing next modified race. Just another shout out to Monzi Collection over in Indonesia, and Boardwicket Race Engines and the whole M&D crew.
We appreciate it. That's the 99 of Dakota Pignataro. He'll continue to try to climb up the standings here and work his way up the point standings in both divisions here in the I-85 Asphalt Series. Dakota Pignataro brings home the 6th place position here tonight, and that'll do it here for the driver interview portion part of tonight's event. Neil, as we continue to wrap up the post-race show here, what an absolute banger race. Was a beautiful opening 60, 70 laps or so. A little bit of a caution fest there on the back end of the race. You'll have that sometimes, but just a quick stat here from the I-85 Asphalt Series. 6 races ran, and we've completed 5 of them in the overtime. The only one we have not did is been at the IRP Raceway. Just a couple of bugs we have to work out here in the late model division, but all around the Carolina Nationals was a success here tonight.
Yeah, I definitely see improvements. You know, I heard Race Control gave a pretty stern walkthrough in the drivers meeting, basically telling these guys, hey, let's clean this up. You know, we're starting to embarrass ourselves out here. The whole group tonight, like I said, we had a few bugs, but at the end of the day, it was great racing, great battles, door banging all over the place, putting on a show for the fans. So that's all we can really hope for.
Exactly, and I just want to add, you know, 2 weeks from now when we head to Kern County, it's a shorter race, 80 laps, and it's on one of those bigger, little over half a mile racetracks. So there'll be plenty of room for these late models to finally merge around the racetrack and find opportunities to pass. It really it should chill things out here. Another short race, though, as we count down the races to the payout of race number 10 at the Martinsville Speedway. I would really imagine these guys got a lot of work ahead of them with Chase Johnson winning 4 in a row.
Yeah, they're definitely going to have to step up their games. I mean, we got a couple guys that are relatively still in fighting chance for this points championship. Obviously, you know, with Chase winning 4 in a row, definitely doesn't help them in their mental state. But, you know, we got guys that can maybe put on some good performances, at least maybe try to give him a fighting chance at the end.
Exactly. We'll roll through the little post-race show, finishing results one last time here tonight. Neil, I'll knock out the first 7 or 8 or so. You can round out all the way to the 19th place position here with Andrew Parnell. But on the pole, starting here tonight at Hickory and finishing first, leading majority of the laps here tonight for Chase Johnson Racing will be Showtime Chase Johnson in the 957, bringing home 4 wins in a row. Dylan Thomas downtown, Dylan Thomas at that. Dennis, Texas brings home the runner-up second place spot for Southern Sim Racing and M&D Motorsports. The 3rd place position belongs to Zach Evans and his M&D Motorsports late model. The number 6 Me-Fine late model had some speed late. Ace Throckmorton threw it back here tonight, his number 72 late model, and got on TV and finished great in a P4 spot, followed by Patty McPeak, getting turned around there early in tonight's event for AF1 Racing. Starts in the 5th place spot, finishes in the 5th place spot. Dakota Pignataro will take the trip on his private jet to Indonesia right after tonight's race at Hickory Motor Speedway. He'll miss the modified race for 2 weeks from now, and he'll be back in the late model stocks hopefully at 2 weeks from now at Kern County. He'll bring home the 6th place spot, followed by Chris Schaffner in the number 22 car, bringing home the 7th place position, 8 spots from where he started. He'll end up taking the Hard Charger Award here tonight from High Point, North Carolina.
Rounding out P8, we got Brandon McPee in the 31 car with his somewhat of a teammate, for even though he's Boogeyman Racing. We have P9 is James Fountain. Rounding out our top 10, we got Phil Bogdan in the 29. 11th place after starting 3rd, we have Michael Johnson. Got involved in one of the crashes there with his teammate. Not what that team was definitely hoping for there, but he's going to come back in a couple weeks and rebound pretty good. P12, we have Aaron Evans. P13, Adam Peeler with M&D. P14, Nate Hall, M&D. Messed up. P15, we have Corey Tester involved in our late race crash there. Really kind of ended his night after a strong showing there throughout the early part of the race. P16, we got Chris Knighty. 17th, we got Mike Doyle. Heard an expired motor. Blew her up. Ran her too hot.
Tough.
Was not happy with that. I know he's going to have to call the local motor builder. Probably going to come out of my pocket here and hurt my budget. Rounding out the 17th position. P18, we got Luca Torcott after dominating the early part. Hit the right front, blew the right front suspension out. Definitely not what he wants to do. That group's going to have a big bill going into the next race. And rounding out our field, we have Andrew Parnell with Ty McIntosh as a start in park tonight.
And Ty McIntosh will take the start in park tonight, and I mean, emergency for him. He had to get out of the racetrack almost immediately before we could take the green flag. Ty McIntosh will be in our thoughts and prayers. That'll be the end of it here tonight, Neil, for the Carolina Nationals live at the Hickory Motor Speedway for what was a 125 lap set, went to the overtime and ended up being 127 laps. Ladies and gentlemen, we'll do one final race recap here. Chase Johnson wins 4 in a row, his 5th on the season. 9 caution flags here tonight for 45 laps. 8 of those being within the last 40 laps. 2 lead changes here tonight. The weather report on your way out of the Hickory Motor Speedway, the birthplace of NASCAR stars. 81 degrees of Fahrenheit, boiling down on the racetrack, northeast wind blowing in at about 4 miles per hour, partly cloudy. And Neil, speaking of partly cloudy, that was probably one of the bigger keys here tonight, with that cloud coming to the racetrack mid-portion parts throughout the race, really changed up the grip.
Yeah, that cloud came out relatively throughout halfway of the race, and speeds picked up, tensions picked up, and everyone was kind of really going out there throwing some elbows. We had a lot of door banging, trading some paint, ripping some vinyl off. It was a good show, and once that cloud came out,
it was all over. Ladies and gentlemen, that'll do it here tonight on the Booty Scoot Racing channel, live at the Hickory Motor Speedway. We'll bring up the schedule one final time. Just wrapped up Hickory. We'll head to Kern County 2 weeks from now, followed by Thompson Motor Sports Park, and then we'll head to Oxford Plains and finish it and round it all up with the pay window being paid out at Martinsville. Neil, it's been a hell of a good week this week for the I-85 Asphalt Series. No racing this Friday for the Truck Series. We're back in action Saturday night for the MRL O'Reilly Auto Parts Series at Legacy, Kentucky. It's going to be a banger. Make sure you press that like button, press that follow button, make sure you press that subscribe button as well if you're on the YouTube page, and ring the bell. Neil, kind of walk us out of here.
Yeah, like I said, we'll be back here in 2 weeks for the modifieds in the late models. Modifieds will be going to the Milwaukee Mile. Different style track, similar to like a New Hampshire, but a lot different, tighter corners, so that one should be a good one. Gonna get some bump drafting going on, some Nerf bars being slammed. Should be a good event. Then in 2 weeks we come back for Kern Raceway with the late models. Like we said before, it's a bigger track, a little bit more banking here than Hickory. Plenty of racing grew here for these late models, so hopefully we can get a good show out of these guys back-to-back weeks.
And that'll do it here from the Hickory Motor Speedway, live on the Booty Scoot Racing channel. We want to remind you we are not responsible for your DUIs. We sign off here at the birthplace of NASCAR stars at Hickory Motor Speedway.